Someone you love is looking at you, and they are saying the words that end it. You hear the sentence, and before you have even finished understanding it, your body reacts. Your chest tightens like a fist has closed around your lungs. Your stomach drops. Your throat aches. You feel like you have been hit hard in the center of your body by a sentence made of nothing but air. Nothing touched you. No wound, no blow, no broken bone. Just information. Just a person changing their mind. And yet the pain is not a figure of speech. Your chest actually hurts. You cannot eat. You cannot breathe all the way down. So here's the question this whole video is going to answer. Why does a feeling, something with no body, no edges, no weight, reach into your actual flesh and hurt you? Why does the brain treat they left like a physical injury? Stay till the end, because the answer is that your heartbreak is not a metaphor. It is a survival alarm older than language, and once you see what it is really protecting, the pain will finally make sense. Start with the word everyone reaches for and nobody questions. It hurts. We say a breakup hurts the way we would say a knife hurts, and we assume we are being poetic. We are not. In 2003, neuroscientists at UCLA put people in a brain scanner and had them play a simple online game of catch with two other players. What the subject did not know was that the other two were not real, and halfway through, the computer told them to stop throwing the ball. That is the whole cruelty. A cartoon ball, no longer coming your way, and the brain responded like a body in pain. The exclusion switched on a region called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, one of the same areas that carries the distress of physical pain. The more rejected a person said they felt, the harder that region burned. Being left out of a pointless computer game of catch registered in the brain as a kind of injury. If that sounds like a fluke, someone checked. In 2010, researchers gave people a plain painkiller, the acetaminophen in Tylenol, the stuff you take for a headache, every day for 3 weeks. Not an antidepressant, a painkiller for your body. And the people taking it reported fewer hurt feelings, day after day, than the people on a sugar pill. Put them back in the rejection game in the scanner, and the pain regions fired less. A pill for a stubbed toe took the edge off social rejection. Now, before you empty your medicine cabinet after your next breakup, the same drug also dulls your joy and flattens your empathy. It numbs the good with the bad, which is its own quiet clue. To your brain, the ache of losing someone runs through the same wiring as the ache of a burn, so a drug that numbs one numbs the other. The heartbreak was never only in your mind. It was routed through the machinery of pain, which raises a much stranger question. Why would evolution ever build that? Pain has a job. It is a teacher. It yanks your hand off the stove, and it keeps you alive. So why would your brain waste that alarm on a person walking away? To answer that, stop picturing a bedroom and a phone screen. Picture a small band of humans 100,000 years ago moving across an open plain. There are maybe 30 of you. You have known every face your whole life, and every single thing that keeps you breathing comes from them. The group finds the food and shares it. The group watches for the lion while you sleep. The group raises the children, remembers where the water is, and stands between you and everything that wants you dead. Alone on that plain, you are a slow, soft, clawless animal with a big, slow cooking brain. Alone, you are meat. Your ancestors did not survive as individuals. They survived as a knot of people who could not afford to lose each other. So for that animal, being cut off from the group was not sadness. It was a death sentence with a delay. The ones who wandered off, who got pushed out, who lost their people, mostly did not live to have children. Which means the ones who did survive, the ones you are descended from, were the ones who felt the threat of losing their bonds as pure screaming emergency. Evolution needed a way to make you guard your relationships as fiercely as you guard your own skin. And it already had a perfect tool for protecting your skin: pain. So it did the lazy, brilliant thing. It wired the loss of your people into the same alarm as a wound. Your ancestors who felt rejection like an injury ran back and repaired the bond. the ones who shrugged it off, drifted, and died, and are nobody's ancestors. And there is a reason it runs so deep in us in particular. A human baby is the most helpless newborn of any great ape. It arrives with about a quarter of its adult brain size, because a head any bigger would kill its mother on the way out. So we are born early, unfinished, unable to cling, unable to walk, unable to do anything but scream for someone to stay. For a human, attachment is the first and longest life support system you ever have. The bond between a child and the people who do not leave is the oldest survival technology our species owns. Heartbreak is what that system feels like when it tears. This is also why you cannot just decide to be over it. Another team scanned people who had just been dumped and were still, against all reason, in love. When they looked at a photo of the person who left, their brains did not only light up the pain regions, they lit up the reward system, the same dopamine circuit that fires for cocaine. To your brain, that person had become a substance you were hooked on, and the breakup was not a bad mood, it was withdrawal. The craving, the checking their profile at 2 in the morning, the bargaining, the physical need for one more hit of them. Call it weakness if you want, but that is your reward system howling for a supply that got cut off. And like any withdrawal, the scans show it fades by degrees. The more days since the loss, the quieter the craving burns. You are, chemically, detoxing from a person. And if you still doubt the body takes this seriously, look at what grief can physically do. There is a real documented condition where sudden emotional shock, often the death of a spouse, floods the body with stress hormones so hard that the heart changes shape. The main chamber balloons out. On the scan, it looks like a round-bottomed Japanese octopus trap, which is where it got its name. It mimics a full heart attack, the chest pain, the whole thing, except the arteries are perfectly clear. Doctors call it broken heart syndrome, because that is precisely what it is. It strikes mostly older women, it is usually survivable, and sometimes it is not. People do, in a strict medical sense, die of a broken heart. It goes further. In the first 6 months after losing a spouse, a person's own risk of dying jumps by more than half. Grief measurably weakens the immune system, dropping the very cells that hunt viruses and tumors. And loneliness, the slow chronic version of this same wound, does damage that researchers estimate rivals smoking around 15 cigarettes a day. Your body does not file "lost my person" under feelings. It files it under threats to survival, and it answers with the same stress machinery it would use if a predator were standing over you. Because for almost all of your history, those two things were the same thing, and that is the piece that changes how you see the whole thing. Your heartbreaking was never poetry. When someone leaves, your brain is not processing a mood, it is registering the loss of a piece of your survival system, and it responds exactly the way it evolved too. It fires the pain alarm, because losing your people used to mean losing your life. It floods you with stress chemicals, because a body without its group used to be a body in danger. It throws you into withdrawal, because it is trying, with 2 million years of hard wiring, to drive you to go get your person back before the cold and the dark and the lion arrive. The pain is not a malfunction. The pain is the system working. So, go back to the start, to the sentence made of air that hit you in the chest. Now you know why it landed as a physical blow. To the ancient animal you still are, there was never a line between losing a person and losing your life. Nobody ever needed to tell the difference, because for 100,000 years, there was not one. Your body never learned to separate them. So when your person walks away, it does the only thing it has ever known how to do with the loss of something you cannot survive without. It hurts you, everywhere, at once, and it calls it a broken heart, which means the ache is not a sign that something in you is broken. It is the receipt for the bond. No body sounds a survival alarm over a person who did not matter. A broken heart is just love, still insisting the person is alive. And it will fade the way the scanners say it fades, one quiet day at a time, not because it was nothing, but because the same ancient wiring that was built to break for your people was built, just as deep, to heal.